Alright, I just wanted to start this video off with a little warning. This is not how you wire an ESC. You can see they've got alligator clips running to the original connector, basically from the ESC. And I just don't even know how to explain the mess that's here. You can see those two taped areas had like a tiny bit of solder, then they were taped, and it was like, I don't even know. It was a wreck. So the very first thing I had to do with this truck is get rid of this mess and straighten it up. So I was going to put EC5 connectors on this, just because, for one, I had a bunch of them laying around, and two, I think they're really good for higher current. And so cutting this garbage out of the way and straightening this up quick, because this is a fire waiting to happen. So I traded for an Xmaxx, and it has lots of issues. I'll show you what it was doing with the steering and front wheel wobble and how I took care of it. Let's check it out. So you can see here at low speed how much the wheels wobble. What was weird is when you were at a little higher speed, it didn't really do it near as bad, and it would run a pretty straight line and not really wobble at all when going forward. But even turning like this at a higher speed, it would do better. So I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. It didn't feel like anything was loose, that sort of thing. So I tore into the front end to dig a little deeper. So I pulled all the covers on everything off the front shock tower and the cover over the servo saver. And I wanted to see what it was doing under throttle. And then as I turn left here, you can see it bumping really bad. So you can see all that shaking there when I turn it to the left. And then when I would turn to the right here, it would actually bind so bad it was lifting that left A-arm. So there was some major bindage going on in here. So I went ahead and pulled apart a little farther. Here's what I found. You see how these are different? I don't know what this little pin like inside of here is called. If you can see that. But see, this axle, I can leave it hanging down and turn this on the bearing. I can hold the bearing. My hand's getting in the way, but I can leave this axle hanging down like this and spin this freely. Okay, this one, that's completely wore out, so it doesn't pivot one way. So if I try to leave this axle hanging down and hold just the bearing here, it won't hardly do it without binding. See that bind it? So it's flipping the stub axle. Like, it's really hard to turn. That's what's putting it in a bind. And then when it does turn, it's really like funky. Whereas this, you can see this, I can leave it hanging down, and this one's not that smooth either because this truck's a wreck, but you can see the difference there, how that wants to wiggle and wobble around. And I think that's my whole problem. So I went ahead and pulled these dog bones and stub axles apart, and I don't know if this came apart at one time and somebody didn't know what they were doing, or if it completely disintegrated, but you can see that piece is not in this one at all. It was nowhere to be found in there, so that pin wasn't staying the way it needed to be. It was just wobbling around everywhere in there and causing that binding. So the stub axle on this side is the one that was shot. I pulled one from the rear and put it back on the front. Wanted to test it like I was doing earlier. You'll see with it turning, that's full left, that's full right. Before, when I would turn right and be on the throttle, it was binding, it would raise this whole A-arm up. So I think that's definitely going to take care of that problem. So you see here at low speed, now there's no wobble, no binding, no wobble. Much better. So I wanted to make this video because I had seen on a page on Facebook, an Xmaxx group, that there were a few other people having this problem, and I tore into this and figured out what it was. And it's a simple, easy fix. They make rebuild kits for these dog bones and stuff. So for like $6, you can get a rebuild kit. It comes with enough to do 2, I believe. So I've ordered a couple of those, so I have spares. And then I've got all new upper and lower A-arms coming, aluminum steering links, like the tie rods basically, and just lots of upgrades coming for this thing. It was a used truck and it needs it. All new bearings, that sort of thing. So stay tuned and check out the truck as I work on it, try to make it better. You can see here, I just wanted to get a shot of kind of how dirty and abused this thing was. It's a used Xmaxx. Be cautious if you're buying a used Xmaxx because they have been abused. But I kind of like the challenge and I'm ready to rework this thing. So look for more vids coming soon on upgrading this Xmaxx. And yeah, let's bash this thing.
Here's the world's biggest truck ever. Or sea truck ever. And go test on this map. Home! Oh, Dad! Big RC truck. Ramp test 3.0. Oh! 3.0 accepted.
All right, I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more on my Xmaxx build. Peace.